Tonight, as we come on the air, this new storm now, millions bracing from the Midwest right into the Northeast again. Treacherous driving expected when this hits. Also breaking, the urgent search for a plane that vanished in bad weather. There are reports coming in right now that it's now been found. And just in tonight, the federal judge pausing what President Trump and Elon Musk are trying to do at USAID. First tonight, that plane vanishing in bad weather, the desperate search all day today, and just moments ago, now the reports coming in, it has been found. The runway had been shut down, the rapid drop in altitude, and what we know about this crash. This dangerous winter storm hitting again, moving right into the Midwest, then sweeping into the Northeast. The alert's up right now, heavy snow, ice, rain, Washington, D.C. to Philadelphia, New York to Boston, and there will be snow. Lee Goldberg has the forecast. Just in tonight, a federal judge blocking President Trump and Elon Musk's plans at USAID for now. And the moment at the White House today when the president was asked about Elon Musk and this new image on Time magazine's cover. Musk behind the resolute desk in the Oval Office amid questions over Musk's true role. And the president was asked if Musk has been told if anything is off limits. How he answered. Tonight, the reporter covering the Super Bowl found dead in his hotel room. A woman now under arrest tonight. What authorities have now revealed, and the other cases involving sports stars and those high-profile burglaries. Tonight, the images of suspects posing with quarterback Joe Burrow's stolen watches and jewelry. In New York City tonight, the new concern over bird flu. New York's governor now shutting down live poultry markets in the Bronx, in Brooklyn, in Queens, amid concerns from California to Nevada to New York, what they're seeing. Tonight, outside Philadelphia, the alarming video showing a commuter train engulfed in flames. Passengers say the train passed by multiple stops while on fire. The medical breakthrough, the kidney transplant from a pig to a human, saving a 66-year-old patient, what we've learned. And the Super Bowl rematch, the Chiefs versus the Eagles. Will Reeve flies us over the Superdome tonight. The teams are ready, the fans are ready. And Travis Kelce's mom used to wear that split jersey, but Jason Kelce has retired, so is there still any Eagles love? And Philadelphia looking to keep the Chiefs from making history.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening. We do have several breaking headlines as we come on tonight. Of course, we're tracking this major winter storm moving in again, but we begin tonight with that mystery disappearance of a passenger plane in Alaska. We have just learned there are reports now it's just been found. The plane had vanished with 10 people on board, the third major aviation incident in 9 days. These are the images coming in at this hour. Just moments ago, the Coast Guard finding the plane 34 miles southeast of Nome. At least 3 bodies have been found inside the wreckage so far. The FAA tonight saying the plane operated by Bering Air was flying over the Bering Sea on its way to Nome. Flight data showing a steep drop in altitude before all contact was suddenly lost. The Coast Guard searching Norton Sound, the flight about 12 miles from shore when it vanished. The plane flying in low visibility, snow and gusting winds. ABC's Trevor Ault leads us off on the breaking news.
Tonight, that tragic discovery. The Coast Guard says they've found the wreckage of a plane that vanished over the open water in Alaska. They believe all 10 people on board are dead. Authorities releasing this image of the mangled plane on the sea ice. The Coast Guard saying it was spotted overhead by helicopter. The Bering Air single-engine Cessna took off from Unalakleet shortly after 2:30 Thursday afternoon, headed for Nome. But about 40 minutes into the flight, the plane disappearing from radar over the Norton Sound, about 12 miles from shore.
Low altitude alert, Bering Air 445. Check your altitude immediately.
Seconds later,
Bering Air 445, Anchorage Center, radar contact lost.
This aircraft experienced some kind of event which caused them to experience a rapid loss in elevation and a rapid loss in speed.
This time-lapse video from hours after the plane vanished shows snowy conditions at the Nome airport where the plane was headed. ATC telling the pilot the runway was temporarily closed as the plane approached.
One of the things that the NTSB will look at, was there a problem? Did the aircraft ice up, and did that lead to a loss of control?
It's the third major aviation incident in just over a week. Last Wednesday, 67 people killed in that mid-air crash between an Army helicopter and an American Airlines plane in Washington, D.C. In the last 24 hours, crews lifting the Black Hawk out of the river amid reports a key safety system was turned off before the collision. Last Friday, a medical transport jet crashing in Philadelphia, killing 7 people in all. Voice recorder found 8 feet deep inside that crater.
And David, back to that Alaskan plane crash. We have now heard from the Coast Guard that this was located 34 miles southeast of Nome, its intended destination. You see all the snow and ice there. While this investigation is still ongoing, FAA data does show this aircraft has a history of icing problems, David.
Yeah, just a horrific scene there and an unsettling week and a half for sure in aviation. Trevor Ault leading us off here on the breaking news. Thank you. We turn out of this major cross-country storm from the Midwest, then pushing right into the Northeast again. Heavy snow, ice, rain across multiple states. There are alerts up right now. In fact, New York City under a winter weather advisory, the system taking aim at the Northeast. By nightfall tomorrow, one storm after another this week, cars spinning out on highways from Northern California clear across the country to Massachusetts. Treacherous driving across multiple states right into the east again this weekend. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Lee Goldberg from WABC, timing this out again for us. Hi, Lee.
Hey, David, we're about 24 hours from first flakes here in New York City. We have winter weather alerts from the northern Rockies all the way into the Northeast. Tonight, it's the upper Midwest, maybe a few inches of snow in Minneapolis. By the time we get into tomorrow, it's the Great Lakes with some snow and a wintry mix from the Ohio Valley and the Mid-Atlantic. And then as we approach nightfall, it's along the I-95 corridor. We've got some heavy snow, the brunt of it tomorrow night, across the Hudson Valley of New York into parts of New England. Those are the areas with the highest snow totals, 6 inches or more from places like Albany to Portland, even into the Boston area. Here in New York, we're going to get a few inches of snow. And then there's the ice storm across Pennsylvania, maybe a quarter inch of ice along I-76. There's an ice storm warning near Johnstown. We get rid of this storm, more storming this Tuesday through Thursday. David?
We'll likely see you next week then, Lee. Thank you. Also breaking tonight, just a short time ago, we learned that a federal judge has now stepped in, blocking the Trump administration's plan to put hundreds of USAID workers on leave. At the White House today, President Trump defending Elon Musk's role in his administration. The president was asked about the new cover of Time magazine with an image of Musk sitting behind the Resolute desk in the Oval Office. How he responded when asked if Musk has been told if anything is off limits. And late today, President Trump's move involving former President Biden's security clearance. Rachel Scott at the White House tonight.
Even as the signs outside the USAID's office came down, tonight a federal judge putting the brakes on the White House's plan to put more than 2,000 of the relief agency's workers on leave. It comes as Elon Musk and his team gutted the agency, which has provided desperately needed food and medicine to some 32 million children around the world. Tonight, President Trump pressed to explain the limits of Musk's power as the world's richest man extends his reach across the federal government. The new Time magazine cover showing Musk behind the Resolute desk in the Oval Office.
Mr. President, do you have a reaction to the new Time magazine cover that has Elon Musk sitting behind your Resolute desk?
Is Time magazine still in business? I didn't even know that.
A much different tone from when Time recently named him Person of the Year.
It's been an honor, and every time it's an honor, I will tell you.
Musk's team has already gained access to at least 10 federal agencies. 2 million federal workers already receiving emails like this one. The subject line, fork in the road, the same one he used when he was slashing the workforce at Twitter. The offer, resign now and be paid through September or run the risk of being laid off. Across the country from Wisconsin to Nevada to Washington, protests popping up. Signs like this reading, let's send Elon to Mars. But tonight, the president saying he wants Musk to go even further, instructing him to tackle the Pentagon's sprawling bureaucracy, though companies Musk owns have had $5.6 billion in contracts with the agency.
Is there anything you've told Elon Musk he cannot touch?
Well, we haven't discussed that much. I'll tell him to go here, go there. He does it. He's got a very capable group of people. There could be areas that we won't, but I think everything's fertile. You know, we're a government. We have to be open. And as an open government, I don't know, I guess you could say maybe some high intelligence or something. And I'll do that myself if I have to. But generally speaking, I'll just say go. But he will be looking at education pretty quickly, and he will be looking at military too.
And tonight, the president asked about a young engineer on Musk's team. The Wall Street Journal reporting he resigned because of racist online posts the paper uncovered, including, quote, "I was racist before it was cool. You cannot pay me to marry outside my ethnicity," and normalize Indian hate. Vice President J.D. Vance writing on X, "I obviously disagree with some of his posts, but I don't think stupid social media activity should ruin a kid's life, so I say bring him back."
The vice president says, bring him back. What do you say?
Well, I don't know about the particular thing, but if the vice president said that, did you say that? I'm with the vice president.
And tonight, Musk posting he will be brought back. To err is human, to forgive divine. In an extended news conference alongside the Prime Minister of Japan, the president also asked today about whether he plans to fire the FBI agents who worked on cases of those who rioted on January 6.
Are you planning to fire the FBI agents who worked on those investigations?
No, but I'll fire some of them because some of them were corrupt. I have no doubt about that. I got to know a lot about that business, that world. I got to know a lot about that world, and we had some corrupt agents, and those people are gone, or they will be gone. And it'll be done quickly and very surgically.
And this just in, moments ago, President Donald Trump posting on social media that he is revoking the security clearance of former President Joe Biden, saying that he will no longer receive intelligence briefings, cutting off any access to classified information. In that statement, he says that the former president cannot be trusted, David.
Rachel Scott at the White House. Rachel, thanks. Tonight, a reporter covering the Super Bowl has been found dead in his hotel room. Authorities say a woman is now under arrest, and what authorities say they discovered. Also tonight, there's news in other cases involving those sports stars, those high-profile burglaries. Tonight, the images right here of suspects seen posing with quarterback Joe Burrow's stolen watches and jewelry. Here's our investigative correspondent, Aaron Kotursky.
Tonight, a sports reporter covering the Super Bowl is dead, and a woman with an alleged history of drugging men is under arrest. Officials accusing Danette Colbert of using the credit card of a Don Manzano after he was found dead in his hotel room. The 27-year-old had traveled to New Orleans to cover the Super Bowl for a Kansas City Telemundo affiliate.
Ms. Colbert has quite a record and rap sheet for confidence games. Ms. Colbert's criminal history does include 2 instances where she drugged a victim.
Police say Colbert and Manzano were seen entering his room at this hotel around 4:30 Wednesday morning. She left about 90 minutes later and never returned.
You asked if this was a homicide. I don't know where it's going to end up. Like I said, we're going to let the evidence lead us to the end result and not speculate.
Telemundo releasing this image of Manzano, calling his death tragic, and adding Manzano was a true professional and a rising star who exemplified excellence in his work. This year's Super Bowl follows a rash of burglaries targeting the homes of several pro football players, including Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Cincinnati Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow. He was robbed in December while playing Monday Night Football in Dallas.
Where are you going right now?
The FBI now saying the men seen inside this vehicle are also captured in this photo, posing with some of the items stolen from Burrow's home, including designer luggage, wristwatches, even custom jewelry depicting Burrow's initials and jersey number. Investigators say they also found this picture of Burrow's Cincinnati house on the phone of one of the suspects. And tonight, David, the FBI is announcing a crackdown on South American theft groups that they say have been targeting the athletes and other wealthy homeowners across the country. Some of what's been stolen has turned up in Chile and in China, and the FBI says it found more of the loot at a pawn shop right here in New York City. David?
Aaron Kotursky with us again tonight. Aaron, thank you. Also here in New York City tonight, the new concern over bird flu. New York's governor shutting down live poultry markets in the Bronx and Brooklyn and Queens amid growing worries from California to Nevada to New York. What they're now seeing with bird flu. And here's Stephanie Ramos.
In a move to stop the spread of bird flu, the governor of New York today ordering the shutdown of all live poultry markets across New York City, Long Island, and Westchester County for disinfection after inspections detected 7 cases at markets in the Bronx, Brooklyn, and Queens.
There is no immediate public health threat. We have been vigilant and will remain vigilant so New Yorkers can go about their lives with peace of mind.
In just the last month, 22 million poultry have been impacted by bird flu across the country, including 100,000 ducks euthanized on this Long Island farm. Parks from New York to Boston have also closed to the public after the virus killed wild birds.
To have 10 or 12 dead geese is something wrong.
There still has been no human-to-human spread of bird flu. 67 people have been infected in the U.S., and most had direct contact with sick animals. But scientists are closely tracking the spread after a different strain was just confirmed in Nevada dairy cattle. It's the same strain found in an older man from Louisiana, the only American who has died from bird flu.
This is the fear of anybody in public health. When you have a virus that's spreading rapidly in animal populations, it increases the chances for mutations and increases that chance of this virus moving into a place where it is human-to-human transmissible.
David, there are about 80 live poultry markets like the one behind me impacted by this temporary shutdown. New York State hasn't had any confirmed human cases of bird flu, but the governor says they're taking action to stop the spread of this virus. David.
A lot of concern over this. Stephanie Ramos with us tonight. Steph, thank you. To the economy tonight and news on American jobs. The U.S. adding 143,000 jobs last month. That was lower than expected. Unemployment ticking down to 4%. The Dow dropping 444 points on the news today and on concerns over inflation and tariffs, closing at 44,303. When we come back here tonight, declassifying documents connected to the JFK assassination, the key deadline tonight. Also, the seasonal flu reaching very high numbers, what authorities are seeing. And these images tonight, the video showing a commuter train engulfed in flames near Philadelphia. Passengers say the train passed multiple stops while on fire. More in a moment here. Tonight, the NTSB is on the scene outside Philadelphia after a commuter train caught fire. About 350 people were on board, all safely evacuated. But passengers say the train passed 9 stops before they were told they could get off. Passengers reported smelling smoke shortly after the train left the station in Philadelphia last night. Tonight, doctors in Massachusetts have successfully transplanted a genetically edited pig kidney into a human patient. This is the second such operation in less than a year. The 66-year-old patient who had been suffering from end-stage kidney disease released from the hospital days ago now. Doctors say the new kidney is functioning well as expected. The patient saying this provides hope for those who have kidney disease. When we come back here tonight, more than 60 years after the JFK assassination, the key deadline tonight. Also, the flu in this country, the very high numbers, what they're seeing. And we fly you over the Superdome tonight with the Super Bowl almost here. To the Index, and tonight the CDC reporting this year's flu season is now the most intense in 15 years. More than 31 states listed as seeing very high or high cases of the flu. For the first time since the start of the pandemic, the rate of people dying from the flu is now the same as those who are dying from COVID, which of course is still a concern. Now to the classified documents in the JFK assassination, officials sending a release plan now to the White House as ordered. They've been given a deadline of today set by President Trump. It's still not clear when the thousands of files, which have long been sought by researchers, will be made public. When we come back tonight, the Super Bowl rematch will fly you right over to the Superdome in a moment, and the very funny moment involving the family very recently rooting for both teams, but not anymore. Finally tonight here, the Super Bowl rematch, the Chiefs versus the Eagles. The teams are ready, the fans are ready, so is the Kelsey family. But will there be that famous two-sided jersey this year? Our Will Reeve in New Orleans tonight.
Tonight, the countdown's on. Under 48 hours to go until Super Bowl 59. The Kansas City Chiefs versus the Philadelphia Eagles in New Orleans. A rematch of the big game 2 years ago. The Chiefs winning in a thriller, then again last year, now on the verge of making history with an unprecedented third straight Super Bowl title.
All of these guys on our team, we love the game. We go out there and leave everything we have on the football field.
Chiefs superstar quarterback Patrick Mahomes is already a 3-time Super Bowl champ and 3-time Super Bowl MVP. He's facing off against Eagles quarterback 26-year-old Jalen Hurts.
We worked very hard for this moment and to be the last man standing.
Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce is 1 win away from his 4th Super Bowl ring. His girlfriend Taylor Swift front and center the past 2 seasons, expected to cheer him on in New Orleans alongside Mama Kelce, Donna, who 2 years ago wore a custom jersey supporting Travis and his older brother, then Eagles center Jason.
I mean, I would hope she didn't have the split jersey this time. I think she'll be wearing red.
They not like us. They not like us.
And for those who just watched the big game for the halftime show, prepare for Kendrick Lamar. The superstar 22-time Grammy winner set to take center stage 1 week after winning 5 Grammys, becoming the first solo hip-hop artist ever to headline a Super Bowl halftime show. And securing New Orleans a major focal point. The Air and Marine Division of Customs and Border Protection giving me a bird's-eye view of the city, showing off their air support capabilities.
You can see the preparations already underway, plenty going on down on the ground, but here high in the sky, this is all about keeping the city safe.
And David, the tickets for the game are sold out at the Superdome, about 76,000 seats, but you can still snag them on the resale market. The cheapest ticket right now, a little under $3,500. That's significantly lower than last year, David.
All right, well, we spent all our money on your ticket, Will, so enjoy the game. You always get the best assignments, and we'll see you right back here on Monday. Good night.
Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.